Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to part 2 of Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. This is going into the 8th round. Not sure what Angelo Dundee is saying. I said that Sugar Ray Leonard here is he's starting to stand a little bit more in front of Marvin Hagler, and we're going to see how this fight goes on. Both guys have a lot of Vaseline on them. Probably wasted a tub of Vaseline on both of them that night, but let's see what happens. Round number 8. This is the punch that I was saying that Marvin Hagler was looking for throughout the first 7 rounds. He landed it maybe a few times. Other than that, it wasn't very successful. But this is what Angelo Dundee was saying when he said Marvin Hagler was more of a right-handed fighter than a left-handed fighter. And here's the shot that he had. It's one of his signature shots that he dropped a lot of people with. Bang. So he said in the first part that Angelo Dundee told Leonard to move to the right a little bit more to get away from that right hand of Hagler. Here's another time that Hagler lands it. Bang, right there. What happened here? Oh, come on, man. Come on. Hagler, that was the first round where Hagler actually landed like 2 nice punches. Come on, dog. Okay, let's see. There he is trying to get him with that right hand again. You got Leonard moving to the right, listening to Angelo Dundee. And those are the combinations that won Leonard this fight, even though they might have not landed as clean. Hagler's going a lot with that right hand, so he's only throwing that powerful right hand. We saw it maybe twice or 3 times already in the beginning of the round. There's like 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I said in rounds 6 and 7, Hagler did better when he threw the left hand, especially when he had Leonard on the ropes. 8, 9. Nice body shot by Hagler. Nice left hook by Hagler. I think this round he's doing a lot better. I got him winning this round. He's using his jab more, so it's hard to say which punch is the powerful jab coming from him and which one's just a regular jab. He kind of jumps into the hard punch a little bit more. But he's making it work this round a little bit more. I got this round for him pretty clear up to this point. Leonard, I'm not sure what he's doing. He's trying to find. So that combination, but I don't know. I think Hagler's doing most of the work in this round. See a counter right from Leonard. Oh, right on the shoulder. That was nice from Hagler, keeping Leonard from getting away from him. And there he goes. Oh, he switched for a second. He went back to his stance. I gotta say, Leonard looks tired right now in the 8th round. Hagler looks a little bit more clean. Nice shots by Leonard, but Hagler looks a little bit more composed. That was a nice right hand by Leonard. Nice right hand by Hagler. That was a nice hook by Leonard. But I got Hagler doing most of the work in this round. In the beginning of the round, he used his right hand a lot. Oh, that was a nice left uppercut. He should go back to. He shouldn't abandon that jab and that power right hand, but he should add the left uppercut on the left hand like he did right here. So he's not just a one-handed fighter. Now Leonard might move a little bit more after he tasted that power. I got that round for Hagler. Pretty clear for Hagler. I think that was after the bell, I think. Round number 9. Hagler just wasn't as active with his hands. Like, he's throwing these power jabs, but you're not going to win just off these shots right here. You got to mix and match a little bit more with your punches, throw a couple light punches. He looks like he was going for the kill the whole time, but he wasn't active throughout like he wasn't jabbing and moving his head. He was more of hunting. That was nice by Leonard right there. I give it to him. A lot of walking by Hagler, but not enough activity. He's throwing one-off shots. He does work a little bit on the inside, but then Leonard kind of ties him up, as we see right here. Now, this is something that you have to pay attention. Sorry, guys, let me just let the ambulance go past. Okay, so this is something that if you don't pay attention to when you are fighting someone that's doing this or sparring someone that's doing this, they could let you fall asleep into their trap. And this is the trap that I'm talking about. They hold you and they try to calm you down. And then they hit you, and then they try to hug and calm you down again. I'll just let it play. So you see how, like right here, let's see, he's holding him. Look, he's going to punch, and then he's going to hold. He's going to punch again, and then he's going to hold. Now, if you don't pay attention to this, if you're Marvin Hagler, you're not paying attention to this, this kind of lulls you to sleep. It makes you kind of fall asleep and accept being held by your opponent. You got to fight being held, basically, because what they do is they're going to hit you and hold you, hit you and hold you. So they kind of tame you a little bit. You got to stay dangerous, got to get out of that holding and show the ref that you don't want to be held. But when you accept the clinch, now Marvin Hagler wasn't accepting the clinch early on, but now he's accepting it a little bit more, it seems. And it just takes away your aggressiveness, and they kind of start scoring more points on you because they're scoring and then they're holding, scoring and holding. You got to make sure to pay attention for that. Don't let them hold you. Both fighters look a little bit more tired right now. That was nice left hand by Marvin Hagler. But yeah, you got to make sure that you don't just let people hold you. You got to choose when you want to clinch and choose when you don't want to be holding. Because it shows that you're kind of passive to the judges too when you let someone hold you. Easier said than done, of course. I give this work to Hagler. He's doing great work in the corner. But I see how Leonard tries to win back the points by the shoe shine right there, and then he tries to move out. I don't know what the ref is doing. And this is how Leonard won the fight. So he's not really scoring the better punches, but he's just making it look like he's landing more shots. And of course, Hagler doesn't really care about those shots because they're not hurting him. But when you are in a fight, you got to think about the third person, which is the judges, or the third thing out in the ring, which is the judges, not the ref. And even though Leonard's punches aren't hurting Hagler per se, but they are scoring the points, or they make it look like they are scoring the points. So if you're Hagler and you're just brushing these shots off, you should keep consideration for the judges outside the ring. That was a nice left hook by Hagler. Because what a judge, this is something that I had to learn too in fighting, is the judges, they don't feel the power that you're getting hit with. They only see who's landing punches and who's not, who's scoring the more punches or throwing more shots and who's not. So if someone hits me 10 times but none of them hurt, they still scored 10 points on me or whatever. But even though they didn't hurt and I just walked through them, it still looks bad. It looks like I lost that exchange in the eyes of the judges, because the judges can't tell if my opponent hits hard or hits light, right? So you always want to make yourself a harder target, always defend. And if they score on you 4 punches, you want to score back 5. And that way you make it look like you're trying to get your points back, like right there. See, that was nice by Hagler, how he came back against those ones. He didn't just sit and not do anything about them. He got his points back right there. So, boom, that's 1-2. And then Hagler comes back to work. Hagler does look a lot slower in this round. So does Leonard, but Leonard's kind of putting it together. I think he's going to close off the fight strong. But yeah, don't let people just land punches because they don't hurt. It's not about hurting you, it's about the points that they're scoring on you. Hagler's trying to turn this into a slugging match a little bit more, but I feel like he could have boxed a little bit better. Now Leonard is dead tired, but all he's doing is just shoe shining and trying to score points and steal the round, basically. They're both pretty exhausted, I think. Their body language is a lot different than the 6th and 7th rounds or up until then. And like I said, those wild misses, they're not very good in the eyes of the judges either. With a guy like Leonard, that's really good. And a guy like Hagler, you don't want to try to cheap shot them with a quick shot like that because they'll make you look bad. That was a nice jab by Hagler. I feel like Hagler should have toned down his power on the right hand and just threw it out there a little bit more. He would have gave Leonard some more problems. But he's just looking to hunt. It just looks like a lion and a gazelle in there. And the gazelle is scoring points for some reason. That was a nice left hand by Hagler. He is landing powerful punches. He's just throwing them too much, with too much time in between each punch. He should put them a little bit together like what Leonard is doing. See, that's what won him the fight. So if you want to ask yourself, both guys are tired. Now you might say that Leonard is stealing this fight with his shoe shines. But it takes energy to throw these punches, especially this late in the fight. And that's what the judges are looking for. The punches you're throwing don't have to be ridiculously hard or snapping your opponent's head back. They just want to see who's working more in the end of the fight, towards the end of the fight. And I think Leonard is doing that right here. And then move. Let's see if he keeps on doing that to finish the fight strong. We got 2.5 rounds left. You could say what you want about those combinations, but they're scoring the points. See, like, this is why you got to keep in mind. This is why you can't always have a knockout mentality when you go into a fight. You got to have a boxer's mentality. Okay? So you box, you score the points. If the knockout comes, then the knockout comes. And if the knockout doesn't come, you're still fighting on points, and you might win on points if the knockout doesn't work. But if you don't focus on the points and then you only focus on the knockout, if the knockout doesn't come, then you're in a bad place. So look, 1, 3, 4, 5. I think he landed a combo before that. Yeah, right here. See, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Okay, take away maybe 4 of those punches. So 5 punches, okay? 5 punches. Let's see what Hagler does. 1, okay? And it's a reaching punch. So this is what the judges are looking at. Leonard is doing what we talked about in one of the lessons of how to walk the ring. You're walking, but you're keeping your shoulder to your opponent, and you're keeping your eyes on them, and you can kind of see what they're doing. But he's being a little bit reckless here. But whoa, both guys really slowed down in the 8th round. Like from 1 to 7, both guys were pretty energetic. Then the 8th round, they really slowed down there. Sorry. Too many swinging shots. Nice hooks by Leonard. Let's see if he steals the round again. That was maybe a nice right hook by Hagler. See, Leonard made a bad miss right there, right before, but he did that once throughout 10 rounds so far. Hagler has done it almost 10 times. Let's see if he gets another shoe shine in here. The ending was Hagler's, I think. Leonard kind of backed down at the last 10 seconds. That was nice by Hagler. So that's why he should have done more. When he tries to hold, he did this a few times. When Leonard's trying to hold with that left hand, keep working and get him off of you. Make him break the break just because you're hitting him. So that was pretty good. But I think after round maybe 5, I think round 8 was for Hagler, but Leonard has stolen a lot of these rounds so far, just off the shoe shining and throwing more combinations. That's another thing the judges are going to look for, combinations. Hagler is still throwing one-off shots like that one. I'm pretty sure they hurt more than Leonard's punches, but they're not scoring the same amount of points. That's pretty noticeable to the crowd and the judges what Leonard just did there. That was nice. That was maybe one of Leonard's best counters to that punch. Bang, I think that went to the body. See, now, look what Leonard Hagler's doing, not Leonard. See how he's actually working now? Should have done this more in the fight when you had Leonard on the ropes. Let's see if Leonard answers back. Kind of does a little bit, gets out of there. But I liked what Hagler did when he was just letting his hands work. He wasn't worried too much about knocking Leonard out. That doesn't look good, running after him like that. That doesn't look good. Who landed the bigger punches? It was definitely Hagler that landed the bigger punches. If all he did was let his hands work a little bit more when he had Leonard on the ropes, or like in some areas instead of throwing that one-off shot, I believe he would have won on points and he would have won the fight. But like that one shot is pretty hard. It's pretty hard to take, but he's just not throwing a lot of punches. That was a nice left hook. So you guys gotta be careful from throwing one-off shots with a lot of power. They land, they might hurt your opponent, but if you miss, you do lose energy and it does look bad. Better to let your hands work and then add that hard shot in between. And that's stealing the round right there by Leonard at the very end, throwing that combination. Let's see what happens in the 12th round. Nice work by Hagler right there. You see those one-off power jabs by Hagler again. Great punches. They just should have been added with other. He should have added other things to them, like feints, a left hand that followed up. I mean, he is jumping into them, so it's pretty hard. A couple light jabs and then jumping into it once he's in range. He could have hit it a little bit better. He could have added more stuff to it to make it into a combination. And that's what a combination really is. It's one core punch. Maybe it's the left hook or the right hand or the uppercut that you're really trying to land. But you're just getting that sandwich in between some other punches just to make it score more points and hide it a little bit better. If you just throw that core punch by itself, it might not land. And yeah. See, that's how he stole the fight. Now that takes a lot of energy to do in the 12th round. I don't care if you say he stole the fight, if those punches didn't hurt. To throw that combination into round number 12 takes a lot of energy, and I gotta respect him for that. Now he's trying to run away. Now he did really good with that combo, so I guess he had to move and catch his breath, but the movement doesn't look too good in round number 12. They're dead tired. I think that combo took everything out of him. If he throws another combo like that, I'm gonna be really impressed. Let's see. There you go. He throws a little bit of what he threw earlier. Here, Leonard looks like he's in more control in the last round. Hagler is following into his trap. They're dead tired. This doesn't look good for Leonard. Hagler now is working. Now he looks better. But now he comes back. He's dead tired, but he's still throwing those combos. But you see how he moves his feet after to catch his breath and then sets up again. Let's see if he throws another combo. He has a couple more left in him, I believe. Maybe if this fight did go 15, I saw a comment on the part number 1 of my fight study. Maybe if the fight did go 15 rounds, Leonard would have gassed out after this round because he gave it his all. Or maybe he would have just went a little bit longer and then threw his combinations in rounds 13, 14, 15. So can't really rewrite history or say what's going to happen. That was it. Let's see. I don't know what the rest of this is. All right, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's an interview. I didn't really watch the rest. But yeah, that's the fight. There's a lot of takeaways from this fight. Let's get out of here. Yeah, there's a lot of takeaways from this fight. Combinations versus one-off punches. If the punches don't hurt you, still you got to defend against them and score your points back. You can't just. It's not a fight in the sense that it's the last man standing. Boxing is a point system. So think about the points and think about the judges, not just who's hurting who more. Even though that is the fight in some cases, and like that's a big part of it, but the biggest part of it is who's scoring the points if a knockout doesn't happen. Hagler, with his power right hand, I think he used it too much. He could have hit it a little bit more with easy jabs and then struck it out every now and then. What else did I want to say about this fight? Leonard that's what I liked about Leonard is he didn't come to win the fight, but he came to get a W. Okay, so he did the right things to get the job done for a win in his record. And one time I lost a fight and I told my coach, but hey, everybody in the crowd was saying I should have won. He said, all I care about is when I open your boxing book, I see W or L. I don't care about the backstory. So that stuck with me. So I don't really care about the backstory. In 200 years, when you look at their records, you'll see a win versus a L. So you got to think of that also when you're a boxer. Don't get too, what's the word? Don't fall in the trap of the fight. Your job is to go in there and win the fight. No matter how you do it, that should be your main goal, is to win. If it's an ugly win or a pretty win, your goal is to win the fight, and that's what people remember, is who beat who. Your hardcore fans are going to argue about other stuff, but that's the point of that. I liked what Angelo Dundee told Leonard to do, which is move to the right, away from the right hand from Hagler. We saw him kind of stand still in the 8th round, and then Hagler really tagged him with it a couple times. That's pretty much it, what I spoke about during the study and here, and that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this study, and I shall see you guys next time. Have a great day, and bye.